What's up guys, this is Eden or PhoTK, and we're going to look at another tutorial, and we're going to start modelling some road assets. So I've got a few pictures of what we're going to do. We're going to do the nice speed bumps like this, purely because it's got nice... Every time I do a video there's a Facebook message, every time. So yeah, we're going to do this purely because there's some normal details. It's a little bit of a different shape, so we'll get round to doing that. Go on to the next one. We've got a metal barrier and a cone, and obviously at the base here that can be quite complex to a new, a beginner for modelling, so we'll focus on how we can create that shape. And obviously the cylinder, it's like sort of creating rounded edges and whatnot here, and it's all about the texturing and the rendering process as well, so we'll get round to that. So first of all, let's look at our speed bump. We can see that it's all nice and straight, and then just literally a right angle 180 degrees round and back up. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do first. So what I'll do is I would create a cube. I would size it up just a little bit, and then create the length of our speed bump. So I'll go roughly around there. Then to create the rounded edges, what I'll do is I'll grab the edge tool, I'll click on one, hold shift and then double click, and it creates sort of the edge, or it selects the whole edge. And then we can go to bevel, and where it says fraction, we want that to be 1, because then these two will join in the middle. And that's very important, because then as we come to insert segments, so we'll set that to 4, it creates, actually what I'll do is explain it, sorry. It creates more subdivisions on these faces that allow for a more rounded edge, as you can see. So that's all good, and that's done the other side, so we don't have to worry. And then we can come onto our face tool, and we can bring that down to sort of the relevant height. So I'll say that was about right. Lift it up. We can delete the bottom face because we don't need that. Anything that's not shown in games, you don't need. So that will just be poly count wasted, so we can get rid of that, don't need it. And then for these, what I would do is I'll grab the whole edge, or the face. Sorry if you can hear the dogs, by the way, bloody annoying. Yeah, so I'll grab the face and then I'll bevel that. Something's not right. I can see why. I can just see here. Select those, you've got 2 vertexes. That's nice and easy. We can come up to edit mesh, then merge, and that'll merge the points together. Same with the bottom ones. Hit G to repeat that key, and I'll probably have to go and do the same on the other side. So if you don't have all this up, you go to where is it? Display, UI elements. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's heads up display. Sorry, and then poly count. So if you check that, then you'll get all these details, which are quite important if you're designing models for games, So then we'll just merge those again. There we go, so that's cool. And now we can go back to our bevel. There we go, that's a lot better. So again, I'll put the fraction to 1 just to maximize it. I wouldn't recommend going over 1, because if you do, then you do get sometimes a mismatch. But that looks absolutely fine, actually, doesn't it? But what we'll do is we'll just go to 1.5 then, just so it's a little bit. And as you can see, there is a slight bit at the bottom where it's just vertical increase. So we're going to need this anyway. So now we got that. I forgot to do the old... It was 1.5 we chose, isn't it? Yeah, and then segments we'll go to maybe 3. That looks about right. I'll grab this loop, so just double click on the edge and it selects the whole loop, and bring that down just a little bit. That's fine. And then we can grab this face, and then we can start sizing it down. So I'll size it down quite heavily to there, and we'll do just one axis first, and then grab the edge around here, so double click, come in again, and one more. So as you can see now, we've got this rounded edge for our speed hump, and it's just this issue now. So we grab the face for the top one, And actually I'll come to this side because I can grab the axis, so I can bring this down to about there, then grab the edge of the next one, bring that down to about there. And what you're looking at getting is just bringing each one in a bit just to create that curvature. What I'll do is I'll do that, and then I'll probably bring this one out a little bit. Let's have a look at that because it's very fiddly. I'm quite happy with that shape. It's quite rounded on the sides and the front. There we go. And now you can see you've got some hard edges around here, so that's cool. We can click on this and we can go to Mesh Display and then Soften Edge. And that's all softened now. But because we've got this increase, I shouldn't have done actually. Oh no, you can soften it all. It's easier. And then grab the Edge tool, grab this one, and then we can go Mesh Display, Harden Edge. So now what you can see is you've got this base and then you've got the roundness. So that's another thing you can do for your low poly assets. You can create nice basic curvature but soften the edges, so it gives the impression that it's high poly as best it can. So that doesn't look too bad. Now we need to go and fix up our topology because we've got some n-gons here. So because the way we've modelled this, it's going to be quite easy. We can grab the multi-cut tool and we can just click and drag and just close up these points. So hit G to repeat, do that and that, and then we can just triangulate this one here. There we go, and we can do the same for the other side. Making sure you get on those vertexes. There we go. And that's it. We have it. So, will I just look again? Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with that. So, click on it, Mesh, Cleanup, and select all matching polygons, and it's fine. So we can call this Speed Bump. That's one very low asset done. That's 160 tries. Marvellous. Don't want any more than that, to be honest, for something like that. The next we're going to look at is the cone. We'll do that one next, just in case, because I'd rather get the cone done than the barrier, because that's quite simple in terms of get a cylinder and you duplicate it. So, you know, that'd be something later on if possible. So right now we're going to look at this and we go, how are we going to start it? First of all, I'll look at it and think I'll start with this base because it's a very basic shape. So how many sides is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. That's an 8-sided shape. So if we come up to our cylinder here, open that up and then come to our channel box, we can go to subdivision axis and we can hit that to 8. So now we've got our shape. The only difference is I don't like how that is because I prefer sort of the rotation to be like that. But oh well, we'll work with it. There we go. And then I will get the face tool, click and drag just these. So you're just leaving the ones on top and hit delete. There we go. What I will try and do is actually I'll try and keep them both in the same picture so you guys can see. Because obviously I'm using 2 screens, so I could easily put it over, but try and help you guys out for seeing that. So we've got now that basic shape. And what we can do now is we can begin, as I can see here, are these? No, it looks perfect, yeah. So we can grab these edges, so every other. So click that, that, and that. And then we can extrude. And then bring that out just a touch. So I'd say sort of a depth of around about that. I can see that the depth for these areas they come out a bit more than these do, I think. So it's just assessing that. I don't know, because obviously the octagon shape is a little bit different at the bottom, but we can always adjust that, so that's fine. And then we can bring those down. Let's have a look at, I'd say around about there, and then grab this end tool here and we can size those down. So now all around we've got this sort of shape, which is quite handy. Just thinking move it out a little bit more. I'm just yeah, no, no, I think I can. That'll be all right. The depth, bring it down maybe a touch. Okay, that's cool. So now what we can do is we can select off that. We've got those, and we just want to join these ones up now. So what we can do is grab the edge tool, click that one and that one, and if you have two edges like that, you can bridge them together. And that usually works if you've got sort of like a four-sider. I know we didn't have the one at the bottom here, but this will be 1, 2, 3, and then it will. Imagine that fourth was there. That'd be right. But if you had a triangle, you can't bridge that. You'll have to use the append tool. So go to mesh tools, append to polygon, and we'll use that later on. That's fine. We'll get around to that. So we'll do the same. Click these two edges, and bridge those two edges, and bridge, and the other. So now we've got this nice shape that we want. And then, as you can see here, there's a slight extrudeness. So we click that, hit R, and we'll just scale that up a little bit. And the next one we can extrude again, hit W, and we can bring that down to about there. There we go. So there's our little base. And the next bit's quite easy. You can grab a cylinder. Now again, I usually, for something like this, you can use around about 10 on a subdivision level. I mean, you can go a little bit further to 8, but for this we'll just use 10. And the way I like to do this is I like to hold D and then hold V. So holding D, you can change the anchor point. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the last video, V snaps to points. So hold D, so we've got our anchor point, and hold V, and we want to snap it to the bottom of our piece here. And then if I hold V again and snap that down, it's snapped to the very top of our cone, so they're now connected. And because this is all done based in the center, I can grab the old rotate tool, grab it on the green section here, and that will just do the X and the Y, the X and Z. Sorry, the Y will not be adjusted. So do that. So let's get the base done first. So we'll turn on the wireframe so we can see. I'm happy with it being around about there. And then let's think of the height. How high do we want this cone? We'll look at it sort of around there, but then we'll grab the rotate tool, and then we, nice and simple, rotate that in. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I actually might just size these in just a little bit. That'll be alright for a cone, I think. I mean, it probably could be actually larger higher, for this one. That will probably do. Won't worry about getting the indent in the top. Normal map can do that. So now we've got those, we can grab the edge tool, click and drag the whole edge, and go to mesh display, soften. And there we go. So we can turn off wireframe. Now, as I mentioned, if there's nothing going to be seen, you don't need the polys there. So if I grab our cylinder, we do not need these. So click and drag, select those, and then delete. Goodbye, we don't need those. So that's cool. Now you can go to the trouble of combining these together and then matching up the topology, but we'll come on to that in another tutorial. These will be just fine, and then you can grab these both, mesh, combine. Yeah, and then we can go edit, delete all by type history, and we can call this cone. So now these are connected, so that's no problem. Just the topology doesn't match, but that's not a problem. As long as, well, we didn't actually check that first. Go to clean up. Nope, that's fine anyway. There's no n-gons or anything, nothing to worry about. So now we've got a cone and a speed bump. And I will do the barrier now. I'm on 14 minutes, so I don't really want to go over 20 minutes. That's the most I really want to do for a tutorial. But let's get into this, and we'll kind of hurry it up a bit. We won't take too long. So looking at this, you just literally just got metal bars. But I wouldn't start with these ones. I wouldn't start with the easier ones. I'd always start with the curvature. And I'll tell you why. Because the way that I do it is I grab a torus, which is one of these. Yeah, I will rotate that 90 degrees, making sure that is, yeah. And then we can go into our settings. Now, way too many polygons. What you want to do is you just want to focus on the right angle yeah, which is this curvature. So if we bring the section radius to about 0.2, that could possibly be alright, actually, yeah. We do not need so many edges around here, so we can go to our subdivision axis. Again, probably go 8, sorry, wrong one, height, sorry, and then go to 8. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. And then subdivision axis for the corner, I think that'll be fine. Because that'll be, if you're going to bevel it, that'll be sort of 4. So I'm happy with that. So what we can do now, click and drag these, delete, click and drag up to there and delete. Now we have a right angle. So all we need to do, bring that out a bit, we can duplicate that, bring it over, and what I usually do is I usually come to my channel box and I go to scale and I hit -1. Oops, wrong axis. Scale Z, -1. And now we can combine them. So now they're actually one object. So now what we can do is we can just grab the vertexes on one, sort of bring those to however long we want to be, and then we can worry about bridging this later. And I'll show you how to do that. The next thing, what we're going to do is we're going to get a cylinder to act as one of these poles. Now these can probably go down to 8 because they're going to be really thin. You're not going to really notice them. So we'll size that down. I'll keep that here. But the thing with these, because they're joining to this pole and the bottom, you do not need the caps. So this is where you can save a lot of polys. So if we grab that and we hold control and we minus these, we're getting rid of 16 tries, which is the top and the bottom. Yeah, so we can hit delete, don't need those. And then I always set the anchor point, so hold D and then V and then click and drag. Do that up to the top and then I hit R and I scale that down to what I want. So that will be fine for now. Yeah, that's cool. And then what I usually do is I like to go edit, duplicate special, and I like to translate on the Z axis. This will be, so I hit that to 1, hit that no, probably minus 0.5. Let's see what that looks like. Apply. No, it is the other way. So hit delete. Sorry. No, actually we'll go 1. And if we hit apply now, it just duplicates it, and we can keep hitting apply to however many we want. So say that will do, and then what we can begin now is just matching that one up to around about there, because I want this pole to sort of start on the start of this curvature, and I'll do the same for the others. So I'll grab the vertexes for that one and I'll match that up to this one. That's cool. And then now we've got our distance between the two, we can double click on this edge, hit extrude, hit W, and we can bring this right across. So to keep doing that, and then hold V and then we'll snap it to this one. That's cool. And now we're going to need to merge these vertexes together because we've got 2 sets there. So grab the vertex tool, click and drag just those ones. We've got 16, but if you go up to edit mesh and then merge, that whacks it down to 8. So then you know all of these that had sort of the double the vertexes are now halved, so they're all merged into one. That's cool. And then we can do the same for the others. We can do that tool, that end, sorry, and that end. Hit extrude, hit W, and we can bring these both down a little bit further. As you can see here, it finishes near the bottom. There will be just fine. And all we need now is just a cylinder to match that. So what I usually do is I duplicate this, bring it down, just select this long area here, right click, select inverse, or invert selection, and then delete. So now we've still got the depth of our cylinder. So we don't want to change that. We don't have to go and create a new cylinder and get all that sorted, because that's just a pain in the ass. And I'll center the pivot, so if you don't know how to do that, you go modify, center pivot, and bring it up to about there. And then what we can do is we can just grab the edges and we can just bring those into the center of that. And again, we don't have the caps because we don't need them because we will not see them. There we go. So we're getting there somewhere, and then we just basically, very simple, grab a cube, bring that down, and again hold the D and V for the anchor point, lift that up to the top, hold V to then just snap that here, and then hold V again and turn it right, snap that in the center of this cylinder, and then we can just scale it to what we want. So something about there, just a little bit bigger. Hit F to focus on that one cylinder to frame it, bring it out to there, and then scale it down like that. And again, we don't need the bottom because that will not be seen, so that's cool. And then we can duplicate, move it over, and then hold V. If I put wireframe on, I want to snap it to this line here, so hold V, click and snap. So there we go. We have, and what we can do now, sorry, is mesh combine, and then delete all type by types history, and we don't need all these either, so delete those. And then this one's called a barrier. So there we go. We've just created some nice low poly assets. Sorry, I will just center pivot. Hold DV, snap that to the very bottom, and then I'm going to hold X, and that's snap to grid. Hold X and then snap it up. So then everything. Oops, I'll do that for this as well. Center pivot, hold DV, snap to the bottom of the model, and then hold X and snap to the grid. And the same for that one. That's hold DV, bottom, and then hold X to the grid. So now everything's now flat on the floor, and we've got something like this, which is quite cool. And this has only taken me, what, 20 minutes just to do these? And that's a tutorial. If you was going to do this, you know, on your own time, you'd be done in 5 minutes. Honestly, that just for the model process. Now we're going to go on to the UV and the, well, it depends. Might have to do separate tutorials. Might have to do UV for one tutorial and then texturing for the other. So yep, I'm going to end that now. 22 minutes, just a little bit over, but that's no problem. I hope you like this, and I hope you sort of got a bit more of an insight on how to create various other shapes, and how sort of model design can be achieved. So please like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.